We have had a bomb attack here in Bangkok all day yesterday. And so with the updates that we have, the Thai police are chasing one more suspect in connection with yesterday's bomb incident in Bangkok, as Western embassies here have issued warnings for their citizens. Police General Pansiri.Panitan Wattanayagorn, the Deputy Chief of National Police Bureau, said there are more than 3 suspects in these connected incidents, in which one of the suspects was seriously injured by his own explosive. At least 2 of the suspects were already in police custody, but another is still at large. Police in the tourist resort of Pattaya also searched a hotel where the suspect was believed to have stayed but found nobody. Police have urged the public to help nail down the remaining suspects, believed to be a Middle Easterner from Iran. Wichian Potposi, the Secretary General of the National Security Council, said after this morning's urgent meeting of the NSC that the 3 bomb incidents which took place on Sukhumvit 71 Road in Bangkok's Klong Tan district yesterday were not terrorist acts. However, the US and UK embassies in Bangkok have issued warnings for their citizens in Thailand to be on alert for possible untoward incidents. The Iranian who lost his legs during his own explosive incident is now in stable condition at Chulalongkorn Hospital as police prepare to interrogate him. The Israel government, meanwhile, has blamed Iran for the incidents in Bangkok, which it alleges that are connected to earlier incidents in India and Georgia. So we'll try to get many lines to talk to us today about the incidents. But for now, let's go to the phone interview yesterday that we have had with Associate Professor Panitan Wattanayagorn from Chulalongkorn University about his comments on the incidents.
Well, it's not that clear. I think we need to wait for the investigation to reveal further what transpired at this incident. But of course, it's very clear that there are individuals from these countries that are in the possession of the explosive devices. It is alarming to us in the region. And we need to make sure that the authority put the lid or put the control over these activities, which of course has been warned by several countries in the past few weeks. I think it's not yet clear to us also that the warning is based on the new threats or the old threats. But certainly, of course, we need to be very careful in looking into these matters. On one hand, we have a very good relation with the Islamic Republic of Iran. Traditionally, we have almost 100,000 people traveling to Thailand from Iran each year, and most are family members, and they do enjoy shopping and traveling in Thailand. But on the other hand, we in the past few years have been encountered with some problems from individuals from Iran also, in terms of the link with organization crimes and with groups that are not wanted in Thailand. So we need to separate these 2 issues and make sure that these individuals are investigated by the authorities truly. I think that is a normal practice. But of course, they need to be more sensitive to the tourist industry in Thailand also. They need to make sure that they have the list of suspects or list of individuals that they need to keep their eyes on. On the other hand, they need not to alarm more than 15-20 million tourists that coming to Thailand on the normal activities. So these are 2 separate issues that they need to handle with care. And lastly, of course, they need to, assign able units and able authority to handle the case. We've been warned at least almost a month on the possible attacks. And in this particular case on Sukhumvit area, which is of course a residential area, it has been noted by the report that the rented house has been has been rented with these individuals for at least a month. We hope that during the month's time, the authorities should work hard to contain these people before the incident took place like this. I think certainly when you look at today's incident, I think a lot to be improved. I think the measures that we put in place may not be enough. They need to step up on their efforts to contain these individuals. Well, I think they may have tried to contain or track down certain individuals, but they need to work harder. I think we have the list of suspects already in our hand. They need to make sure. In fact, if you talk to the residents in that area, I think they have noted very unusual activities in the past few days already, coming and going from the house. So I think they need to act on these tips and need to be more serious because the damage or the panic created by these incidents may be a lot more than expected to our recovering economy. I don't think we can afford to have the damages done to Thailand after the flood, the recovery. Yeah. I think they need to come out very clear on the investigation. They need to tell the international community and the Thai public on what actually is taking place. On one hand, of course, they need to handle the PR and the public media with care. But on the other hand, they need to get engaged with their partners and allies to make sure that they have identified more suspects. In fact, there are very few suspects listed from very few countries only. I think it's not that hard to do to make sure that we keep peace and keep our eyes on these individuals. Being able to do that in the past few years successfully, I think we need to adopt those measures back. We had many successful international meetings, APEC, Asean, and many others. During those periods, we have a very good security measures put in place. They need to look back to those success and bring the lessons and apply those lessons to the present situation.
So this issue is one of the hottest issue around here in Bangkok at the moment. As yesterday we have had one Iranian man who tried to throw a bomb at the police, but then the grenade fell back to his legs and blew up off his own legs. Yes. So that was really tragic right there. And we're still waiting to see more updates from the NSC, who has had an urgent meeting this morning. And so we should get some more answers.
We're waiting for more updates. Now let's update with the energy and oil prices, as the Natural Energy Policy Committee tomorrow will increase the prices of natural gas, liquefied petroleum gas or LPG, and gasoline as part of the ongoing energy price restructure. Suthep Liamsiricharan, Secretary General of the NEPC, said the price of natural gas will be further raised by 0.50 per kilogram to 9 baht, while the LPG price will go up by 0.75 per kilogram. For gasoline, the price will rise by 1 baht per liter. Last month, the government started that the energy price restructuring to ease the fast-rising burden of subsidies, especially on natural gas, LPG, gasoline, and diesel oil. Suthep said taxi cabs operators of public buses and trucks have agreed to the energy price increases at least for the period of January to April this year, but the government will have to come up with a special measures to help curb with the higher cost of fuels. For example, some taxi cabs will be given discounts when they fill tanks with natural gas in order to help lower their costs. To better reflect the global market energy prices, the government said energy prices will be adjusted on a monthly basis. For example, the target price of natural gas is 14.5 baht per kilogram, up from 8.5 baht per kilogram in January, as the price will rise by 0.5 baht per kilogram every month towards the end of this year. Energy analysts have predicted that the retail oil prices will likely top 40 baht per liter later this year, as gasohol, a mixture of gasoline and 10% of ethanol, is already over 36 baht per liter.
On the national agenda, Govt Jatikawanith, a former finance minister and currently the deputy leader of the opposition party, has insisted before a panel of judges at the Constitution Court that the government's emergency decrees on a huge debt transfer and a 350 billion baht bond issues are unconstitutional. At the court's hearing this morning, Govt said the government should not resort to enacting emergency decrees since there are no reasons to justify the urgency. Kamnun Sitthisaman, a senator, also told the court's hearing that the debt transfer issue is not urgent since it is the legacy debt resulting from the 1997 financial crisis. However, the government wanted to transfer the 1.14 trillion baht debt to the Bank of Thailand to get rid of its debt service burden, which reduces the government's annual state budget. The Bank of Thailand has agreed with private commercial banks to levy a 0.47% fee on all banks' deposits to pay for the annual interest on the legacy debt, which amounts to more than 60 billion baht per year. The levy will be enforced under the Deposit Protection Act, which allows the central bank to collect fees from commercial banks as a premium on deposit guarantee.
Now let's turn the attention to the water management in Thailand, as the Strategy Committee on Water Resource Management said yesterday that the water management budget for 10 water origin provinces has been set at 49.2 billion baht, while the Natural Resources and Environment Ministry and provincial governors are to rehabilitate forest land in areas where the Ping Wang Yom Nan rivers originate by April. SCWRM Secretary Suphot said the overall water retaining capacity would increase by 5 billion cubic meters from last year's level. After Prime Minister Yingluck's Shinawatra meeting yesterday with the governors of 10 upper northern provinces, Suphot said that the Prime Minister had also instructed the Sirikit and Phumipol Dam release water so that they are at 45% capacity by May 1st. In the rainy season, these two major dams will contain 15 billion cubic meters, while the Monkey Cheek and water retaining areas will support 5 billion cubic meters, and another 10 billion cubic meters will be released through rivers and canals. He said that Yingluck also instructed the working team for 10 water origin provinces to implement river basin management in harmony with the SCWRM plan, which has 6 short-term and 8 long-term measures. He added that the meeting concluded that the overall budget for the mission would be 49.2 billion baht, comprising 580 short-term projects with a budget of 10.7 billion baht and 1,900 long-term projects worth 38.5 billion baht. Suphot said that the long-term plan is expected to be completed in April.